muscular system is another important part of your body and works closely with the skeletal system. This system helps hold your bones together and help them move. Without muscles, simple tasks such as blinking your eyes, lifting things, and exercising would be impossible.
Muscles make up 40% of your total body weight. To take one step, we use 200 muscles. Humans are born with all the muscle fibers they will ever have.
ATP.
A muscle is made up of mainly skeletal muscle tissue, blood, connective tissue, and nervous tissue.
Some examples of these are cardiac muscle, skeletal muscle, and smooth muscle.
Protein structures thick and thin filaments. In any muscle structure, you will find sarcomere. Sarcomere is the contractile unit found in any muscle structure or cell.
These zigzag lines form the Z line.
Z-line or Z-disc is in the ending point of any sarcomere. In the diagram below, sarcomere is represented as the two endpoints known as the I-band. In the I-band, it is filled with thick filaments. And the A-band, which is represented in the middle, is whole of thick myosin filaments. And it is the length of it. The H-zone consists of the thin actin filaments in between, represented as pink. The thin filaments are known as actin, troponin, and tropomyosin, which make up this filament. And the green ending points with the bubbly heads is known as myosin heads, and they are filled with myosin. In the myosin,
These thin lines. Sorry about bad handwriting. Are thin filament actin.
Go.
These thick lines are known as the myosin of the sarcomere. These are the myosin heads, and they eventually interact with the actin.
It's relaxed. When it's contracted, the myosin heads pull together with the actin. So what happens is they pull together, and what happens, the H zone goes away. That gap isn't there no more. That's when the muscle's contracted. Alright, whenever they work together, they pull together. Well, kind of like that. And the sarcomere shortens.
And that's a contracted muscle.
in the diagram below, I will be showing you a broad up spectrum of the middle area. So this is a thick filament. It is attached to the ends are called myosin cross bridges. These are the myosin heads of the thick filaments. These will be the bonding site for the calcium. In the thin filament, there is a light ribbon-like structure called the tropomyosin. The tropomyosin acts as a containment for the actin and the troponin. The actin is represented as little cell-like balls, and on top of those you have little dots represented as calcium. The troponin is the binding site for the calcium to attach to.
This is the neuromuscular junction. A neuromuscular junction is the synapse between a motor neuron and skeletal muscle. This describes the events of synaptic transmission leading to contraction of your muscles. Myasthenia gravis is described as a neuromuscular disease. The space between the motor neuron and the skeletal muscle is known as the synapse. The calcium will then enter the neuron itself, and it stimulates exocytosis.
The sarcomere shortens when cross bridges pull on thin filaments. The myosin head attaches to the actin binding site and forming a cross bridge like a bridge. It bends slightly, pulling on the actin filament. The head releases and straightens back and combines with another actin site and pulls again. Myosin heads have ATP. It later changes to ADP on phosphate. It releases energy and provides force for muscle contraction because contraction needs energy. So as ATP breaks down, it the myosin head is in a cocked position back, like it was bent again. When the neurons tell the muscles to contract, the myosin head attaches to the actin binding site once again, forming a cross bridge, pulling in the actin filament to the center of the sarcomere, which the sarcomere shortens. The actin and the myosin filament overlap, causing the sarcomere to shorten as well as the muscles. When another actin filament binds, the myosin head decides to detach from the actin binding site, breaking down the ATP to return to the cocked head position, so like back. This cycle may continue as long as ATP is present and the actin potential energy goes down the neuromuscular junction.
ATP.